if there's food in front of me, like I'm going to eat that food till it's gone. I don't care how uncomfortable
There's
I get.
no check-in on how
No
full
way.
you are.
No way. And I eat so fast that the food's gone before the discomfort sets in anyway, physiologically.
Yeah.
So it is, yeah. It's almost like when I hear alcoholics talk about alcohol and they're like, I can't have just one drink because I want to drink all of the alcohol in the world when I drink, you know? And fortunately I don't have that. I can totally just have like a beer with dinner and it's no big deal. But with food, like I won't even have taken my first bite and I'm like, I'm going to eat this entire thing and then I'm going to get something else. I'm going to eat that too. And then I'm going to have this and then I'm going to have that. And I'm like, dude, just eat a little bit first and then, you know, and I watch, because I'm self-aware, I watch this entire inner monologue go on almost as a passive observer.
Do you wait to eat until you're super hungry or do you eat periodically?
I usually am a little more on the waiting until I'm hungry. Yeah.
So snacks might be helpful for you. Mm-hmm. Just, you know, like 3 smaller meals and 3 snacks every day. That's what we do in treatment centers. But I'm curious, like, that's interesting because I would encourage you to eat. So before you even take a bite, to check in with how hungry you are.
Right.
Like 10 being like, if I bend over, I'm going to throw up. I'm so full. 0 being like, I'll kill you. I'm so hungry.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then like, usually you should start eating when you're like a 4 or a 5. Okay. You're like, you start to feel hungry.
Oh, I could eat something. Yeah.
And like, because by the time we actually sit down and eat and pick things out, we're usually already moving into like 4, 3, you know?
Yeah.
We don't want to dip into like 2, 1, 0. No.
Yeah. Then I just become an insane person.
Everybody does. Blood sugar plummets. We know, like, we physiologically and hormonally even have a complete shift in our mood. So try to do that. And then if you eat half of your plate, just like cruise on in, eat as fast as you want, whatever. Nobody cares. But when there's a halfway point, like maybe just even cut down the middle of a plate, especially with Mexican food, super easy. Cut it down the middle and then check in. Have like a half a glass of water and then just how full am I?
Yeah.
You know, think about it. Talk to people, engage in conversation, give yourself like a 5-minute break. And that will alleviate this, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. We have to slow it down.
Yeah, I want all of the different foods at the same time. It's this weird, you know, obsessive thing. But I think in general, eating too fast is a problem for me, or like stopping at certain, you know, because like, you know, my wife will be like, you know, just point out how quickly I'm eating, and then I'll try to like just as a game like eat slower. Like I'll take a few bites and put it down, and I'm like, well, now what? What are people doing in between? Like now I'm just standing here. I'm just sitting here with food in front of me, not eating it. This doesn't make any sense at all. I need to resume eating this. I have a very hard time like eating at a, you know, like what other people think of eating as a leisurely pace, I think is like, what are you doing? Like what's the hold up here?
But what if at each bite you're like, what do you taste? What's good?
Just think about it. Yeah.
Tap in instead of like, essentially when we binge, we're like zoning out.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
It's an altered state.
It is. You're almost like dissociated a little. You're not really in yourself.
100% dissociated.
Which is probably why it's hard for you to have conversations and slow down, because you're not really you.
Yeah. I mean, if there's an engaging conversation to be had, it's not like I'm stuffing my face and speaking mid-bite. I can talk, but like I think when people are like, oh, you're not even enjoying your food, I'm like, yeah, I am. Like,
you have no idea how much I'm enjoying this.
Take the enjoyment that you experience over however 25 minutes it took you to eat your meal, condense that into 3 minutes. I'm feeling all of that pleasure very quick. You know, shoving a couple slices of pizza down really fast. It's pretty enjoyable to me.
Pizza's always enjoyable.
Pizza's great. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's like those are just symptoms. We're like treating the symptoms, right? Yeah. Because the real issue could be like not feeling emotionally supported. And so food's been your emotional support as a kid, I'd assume.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a component. I mean, it's strange because I was an athlete as a kid, and so I would eat like literally triple the intake that I do now, and I was rail thin because I was a swimmer and I would swim it off every day. And then in like my early 20s, when I was no longer an athlete, I still tried to eat the same way. I was like, oh no, this is what my life is now, like actually thinking about what I eat. So then I don't know how that changed. It was almost like I just got so used to eating whatever I wanted all the time that my brain couldn't like
switch over.
switch over to like, thinking conservatively about food,
Yeah. I mean, and it's almost like, I wouldn't say that it was because of being an athlete that you ate so much, even though I know we have to fuel our body.
Right.
But it's because
It enabled me, though.
Yes.
There were
You got away
no
with it.
ramifications whatsoever.